No, because you got ill that week.
You're doing a proper question.
Yeah, what's the pizza topping?
My favourite pizza.
As long as it's got pineapple on, doesn't it?
Pineapple should be banned.
Something pepperoni.
Mushrooms, potatoes, and
Next week pizza.
Good evening and welcome to the show.
what?
That took
What was
us all by
that?
surprise. Yes, good evening. We are back after a small hiatus due to ill health on pretty much everyone. And tonight John's dying, so join the club. Welcome to us. We were saying we need to be like, what was the show called again?
Only
when I laugh.
Yeah, Only When I Laugh. You have to be a certain age to remember that one, but that's what it'll be like next week. We'll be sat in hospital beds on the same ward doing the show. That'd be pretty clever. Anyway, we trust you're all doing very well. Thank you, first of all, for all the well wishes and stuff like that. Absolutely blown away by it all as well. So big thank you for that. It gave me good reading whilst I was away. So lots of things going on. Nice to keep up with the forum with everything that's going down in there as well. So yes, it was quite a nice tonic to see what you guys are all up to and building as well as I was watching Matt. So working on his Sherman as well. So that was quite nice. But anyway, big thank you for the team to holding the fort as we were away. So well done, guys. Thank you very much indeed. Good evening to everybody who is in chat. Lots of people in chat. In fact, lots and lots of people in chat. So good to see you all doing there and everything. So I trust everyone's battening down the hatches and waiting for Eunice to arrive. Due here about sort of 5 in the morning, isn't it, John?
Something like that.
I think, yeah, the red weather warning's from 7 till 12, I think.
Oh, is it? Nice.
Is it just? It's just Cornwall, Devon, isn't it, at the moment?
Cornwall, Devon, Somerset, South
South
Wales.
Wales. Yeah.
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 It doesn't matter. If that bit can go.
Is it not coming up here then?
Yeah, well, no, I don't think you're getting it a bit later in the day, but it's still going to be quite strong, isn't it? They're on about sort of 70, 80 mile an hour everywhere.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, great. Can't wait.
Yes. Anyway, what is red weather? Red weather is just obviously we have a series of warnings. So red weather, we haven't had one for 20 odd years here, and it basically means winds up to or in excess of 100 mile an hour. So it's what they call danger to life. So no surfing, everyone. I've told you before, windsurfing's off. Cliff climbing, all things like that is not the way to do it.
Danger to life and structure, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, so we're all batting down the hatches. I've moved everything in. The plant pots are in. The hanging baskets are down. We'll be okay. So good job. Anyway, how are we doing? John, how are you? How's things? Enjoying your holiday?
Yeah, I had a nice week off. Been up and visited PM at the weekend. And Mr. Ball gladly shared his cold with me.
See?
Got to share the germs, haven't we? But yes, it was nice to see.
But yeah, it's just nice not to have to go to work and relax. So,
Have you done any modelling? No.
We probably haven't done much for the last couple of weeks, have we?
See, look, I leave you alone for 2 weeks and it falls apart.
We've been on Skype in the evenings, but we just end up just yapping.
Yeah.
Except for Nathan. Nathan is the one that carries on.
Even I've not done much though.
But now the old Centurions coming together.
Hold on, if I can find out what camera you're on. Oh, you're on that one. That's all right.
Looking good.
I've just started the weathering on it now. So, yeah, Lynn's away for the weekend now, so the plan is to spend all my time in here.
Nice. Very
Till
nice.
he gets blown away to Kansas, eh?
Yes. Yeah, you'll find him in Gloucester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. And Nathan, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm all right. I've got next week off. Like, one more day work.
Yes.
Might get some modelling done next week. So, no, you've gone off and we've all stopped modelling. What's going on?
I know. See, they need a bit of a push, you see. They need some focus.
I think I've not touched this in a week. It's primed and ready to spray.
Mm-hmm.
This is it Ari or Japanese car thing? So that's all I've done. I think I've just stopped modelling these past 2 weeks. I don't know why.
Never mind. We can all get back at it, definitely.
Yeah.
And Andy, how are you?
Rattling.
Next question.
Yes.
How long we got?
Never mind. Have you done any modelling?
No, I managed to. That's now painted
I've got to find him. There he is.
a shade of whitey grey,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's had a gloss coat. I actually took it all apart and to paint on the insides of the bits and
Yeah.
the bits, and the back comes off. So yeah, that bit goes on the top and what have you. So yeah,
Did you notice on the back of the X-wing that's a Sherman hull?
was it really?
Yep. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rear plate on an X-wing is actually a Sherman hull. It's got the driver and the assistant gunner's hatches on it. Yeah.
There you go.
See, things
That's
you
quite
learn.
cool, actually. Yeah. But yeah, it's fair. I made a mistake by not following the instructions because I thought, yes, of course I'll be able to get the pilot in after it's all together. Nah, could I heck?
No.
Which was the reason why I took it all apart. And I thought if I'm taking it apart, I might as well then paint the bits on their own, without having to mess around with it. So yeah, I'll go on with that next week.
Very nice. And Matt, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah,
That's it.
very good.
So
And no, I haven't done any modelling either. Well, I have a bit.
Well, you
yeah,
did.
but
You did. Well, quite finished off your Sherman.
To be fair, I was well ahead of myself on the Sherman, so I hadn't done much in the past sort of fortnight. I have finished painting the figures, mine. There you go. There's Mr. Bradley Pitt.
There he goes. Yeah.
Cool.
So I finished him today. His flesh and all the other bits. So that's sent over. I've just got to do a bit of weathering and muddying him up, if I can even say it.
Right.
The other dude's done now as well. Where are we on cam? There we go.
Very nice.
So that's our favourite watercolour pencils from AK to do all the muddy stains on his backside and down the bottom of his trousers.
What's on your thumb?
It's putter.
That's cool.
Yeah, I forgot that we're on there. That's good.
It's got his habit.
It's look, family's favourite putter. I'm just filling something. So yeah, that's about it really. So this, apart from the base bit, as a Sherman that needs rubbing down and priming and painting. It's not far off done that little project, and like I said yesterday, I've got me my next project lined up, which I'm quite looking forward to actually. So yeah, all good. I tell you what, I can't recommend these Panzer Art figures enough. Sorry, I'm off camera. They are absolutely mint. The casting and stuff is brilliant.
I did think when you were painting it, his hair,
Yeah,
you could give him a bowl cut.
a bowl cut.
Well, you saw that start from the top, don't you? Work down, and it gets like the top of his ears, and you still not painted the back of his head. And I thought it looked good if you did him as though like
The
he'd been
bald
shaved
spot.
down. They put,
I did actually start doing that. You know, when I did his beard,
yeah,
I did do the back of his head, and then when I painted, it just didn't look right. It looked really odd.
yeah.
So I've had to fill his hair in a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's grown out, shall we say, shaved head. But I think he is supposed to actually on the sculpt have a shaved, like you say,
Shaved neck, yeah.
proper short back and sides kind of thing. Yeah, perhaps a bit beyond my skill level that one for painting. But yeah, it's enjoyed it. It's figures in it, quite enjoyed doing figures. So all good.
Very nice. Looking very, very
Thank you.
good. Good indeed. And what's something I just read something there which was interesting in the chat, but it's moved. Crikey, I've forgotten what it was.
David says, Matt, can you show us the box the figures came in?
Yeah, I can actually.
Oh yeah, the other thing as well. That's what I just saw. David saying about Matt's new digs looks posh. It's the same place, just different camera angle. He's on the other side. Normally the
I'm
camera's
still at
there.
work. Yeah, I'm not at home yet. It's not finished at home, so this is work. But we've had to move round. When John came up, we've moved it round because I've actually moved out of here into the front office now because my wife has left. basically. Gone home.
Not
So,
that.
I've
Yeah,
got
not
some-
totally. They're still married.
Yeah. So I've got more space in here now. It's back to how it was originally going to be in here, the studio. So
Yeah.
as in studio, teaching room, whatever else we're going to use it for. And I tell you what, there's a lot of space in here. So the cabinets have been moved, and yeah, I'm actually obviously the opposite way from normal, but it's nice. I can spin round.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Dude's
They're
Bond
called
villain.
Panzer Art, these figures, and they're from Poland and near the O. Even though they can't spell art, but they are Panzer Art figures.
Hold on,
Come
let me
easily.
put you on
Boxes, get a
camera.
couple of figures in each.
Show them on camera again.
Sorry,
There
there
we
you
go.
go.
How do they spell art if they can't spell art
I
right?
don't, yeah, well, here's the other one. I've got some more, look, which says Panzer Art on the box, look.
Hmm.
So if you Google Panzer Art, they do quite a few now. They're really picking up. Good figures. Can't recommend them. Really nice.
Very, very nice. Cool. Also, just to let you know, everybody's medal has gone out. So you will be receiving them. Technically, you might have received them today if you're in the UK, but if not, they'll be with you tomorrow and obviously through to the weekend. The EU and rest of the world ones all went out on Monday. So they're well on their way to you going through. But yes, it's our usual medal, the last one. So there we go. That's the Out of Africa one. Completes that one. So they all went out. I did those last week and then obviously dropped them off at the post office. And then the UK ones all went out yesterday. So they'll be winging their way to you. So keep an eye out for them. They'll be flying in. Obviously, these will be the last of them in their normal guise of doing it. So a bit of a sad thing seeing these go after all these years. But yes, there we go. On to pastures new, as we say. So keep an eye out for your medals. They'll be dropping through your doors literally as of tomorrow onwards. Or if not, you might get them a little bit next week. So yes, they're definitely coming along with those ones. So anyway, we trust you're all doing very well in the chat and very good. So as I say, it's a little bit of an open mic tonight, isn't it? Because we haven't thought of any topics.
We have.
Have we?
Pizza topping.
Pizza.
What's the best pizza topping? I put it 2 weeks ago.
There we go then. Well, clearly.
Made Phil ill, the thought of discussing pizza toppings.
Can I just end the conversation by ham and pineapple? Right.
You shouldn't have pineapple anywhere near a pizza.
Pineapple should just not be anywhere near anything.
The best pizza actually is just garlic bread with cheese.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's it.
Pepperoni.
Depends on pepperoni though, because you can get some proper minging pepperoni.
Farmhouse is the best.
Nigel's he's with me.
There's no
Pineapple.
pineapple watching this.
Just wrong.
Pineapple, it's cool.
Just wrong.
It's wet
Like
and soggy and ruins your
It's
pizza.
like having tuna on a pizza.
That's not bad either.
Jalapenos, isn't it? Should be on there.
Jalapeno.
Can I just say, years ago I used to be a manager for Asda. When Asda first started doing pizzas that they made up, I can't remember the company that we started off with. It was when the Teenage Ninja Turtles were
Right.
around, and we used to do chocolate and marshmallow and
Ooh, God.
Oh, God. Whoa, grim.
all sorts.
Wrong
proper-
on every
Bet you
level.
sold loads of them.
Yes. That is definitely wrong. Anyway, I've been very busy this week. We've been getting on with the Hornet. So that one's coming together very nicely and making its way through. And I have done, if I just steal the camera a secondi, as I say, fuselage is all together and is fine. So we're all solid and good to go. I've also done all the flaps, all the tail planes, everything is all built and done and cleaned up and all ready to go. And I've even test fitted it and that all fits okay so far. We've also got the cockpit is all done. So this is all set, ready to go in. So we're okay there. I've got aftermarket seats. I'll try to close the camera. There we go. So these are all in. We've gone with the advanced rear station for it, so it's got the bigger monitor, so it's the more up-to-date version. The kit does come with both types, so thank God for Edard colour photo etch. So that is in there, and as I say, I have got the seats, the resin aftermarket seats, but we haven't painted them up, so that's a job for tomorrow to get those ones up. But the next part of that will be up with you, so that will be winging its way over to you tomorrow as well. So the next part of that one will be up. And the Hurricane is...
Phil, when you said the fuselage is fine,
Hey?
is that the fine as in when your wife turns around and says, "How do I look?" and you say fine?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
What, she says, are you wearing that? You're wearing that, are you? Apparently not. But yeah, so Hurricane is literally, it's all done. All the sanding and filling and all the bits and pieces are done on this one. So this is all set, ready to go into primer. So again, all the parts, which are all here, they are all done and it's all ready to go. Basically into paintwork now, so we're going to get a coat of primer onto this one, and then we're just going to go around, scene check it, make sure we're all good, and if we're happy, so next week we'll be pushing on with that one and getting that into paint as well. So yes, it's all coming together. Hopefully, as I say, tomorrow plan of action is now this is done, it can be installed, get the front end all into this one, and then probably get another ton of filler on it, and it'll be absolutely fine. So yes, blood pressure's fine and calm. So yes. Right, okay, so pizza with fresh haggis.
There's one that's slightly weirder than that, chicken and banana.
Yeah.
I like the sound of the breakfast one with sausage, bacon, and eggs on it.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, that was a long time ago. I was, a long time ago.
Right, quick question that's on something slightly more sensible.
Yes.
Does the Academy 148 Phantom F4C need nose weight?
No, Phantoms don't need nose weight. So, Hornets, Tomcats, definitely.
Is that because it's got a low front leg?
Yeah. Well, and also it's just the centre of gravity is a lot further forward on it as a plastic kit. But no, Phantoms don't usually, put nose weight into it. But don't forget, you've got the golden rule. If you're a little bit unsure, stick a little bit in because it'll never hurt, So, for instance, the instructions for this Hornet does call out for nose weight, but I've never put nose weight into a Hornet in my life. So,
Yep. Sorry, that's because there's that much filler in the back end.
Probably, yes.
It's shifted it shifted the balance off a little bit.
Yes, it does make you wonder how much filler in weight goes into it. So it'll be all right. I did a quick test fit with the wings on it and all the bits and pieces, and actually it all fitted fine, weirdly. So at least the wings seemed to go on and all the flaps and slats and everything else. So that was amazing. We'll see what the rest of it goes like. But yes, we're all doing very well. Right, okay, so shall we do a few other questions?
Yeah, why not?
We'll catch up in some of the questions. So, Del says, hi Phil and team, regarding the AK Extreme metal being enamel base, I mixed up a couple of shades to get the effect I wanted. I used the plastic shot glasses, then I left the remainder in the glass. I found out the next morning that it started to melt the plastic. I then put some Humbrol thinners in another glass and left it for a week. The only thing it did was discolour the plastic. Photo attached. So yes. Again, we've said this before. You get different types of like enamel thinners. You can get B&Q's own rough cut stuff, or you can get low odour thinners, which are highly refined different types. And I'm sure, you get hot types and not as hot types and stuff like that. But bearing in mind the other one has eaten the glass as well on the inside, you don't know how far away that would have been from melting it either. So, yes. What I would highly recommend, thanks to Nathan, who stole me some, is the Pyrex shot glasses. You can get the little ones. What size are these? 10mm ones.
I think they're 10mm, yeah.
So these are great because I just use these all the time now and mix up everything into these because, as I say, it's a little bit more environmentally friendly. It's got a little pouring spout as well, so they're quite handy, but mixing up colours and the bits and pieces. So yes, I must admit I do use these.
Yeah,
these
they're only
days.
about five. I think a £5 on eBay. I think I got these for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get them like Russian dolls, or you get like a set of small to.
Yeah, these are goes. I got a big 100mm one, and it goes down to 5mm one.
Yeah, they're quite handy. And yeah, like I said, the IREX is supposed to be impervious to everything, isn't it? So
Yeah.
But as for shot glasses, you don't really want shot glasses. You want medical dispensing glasses with ones that they'll have a scale on, obviously measuring things out. And if you squash them up, they don't crack.
Yeah, they don't split.
If you squash those ones together, they'll just split. Because these are like a different type of plastic, so they don't.
But we've had this conversation before. I was so lucky because I made up some, I think it was enamels or whatever it was, and I made a wash. And then I had over here was my Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
And because it was slightly on the tip as well, the shot glass had melted to it at the angle, but actually had done like yours. It hadn't come through it. It hadn't actually eaten right the way through, but the actual shot glass had melted and gone onto its side because it's one of those cheap, as you say, the hard plastic ones, and it happened. But how we got away with it, because I lifted it off and it had gone bent in the shape, but it could have literally just gone right the way over the entire thing and ruined my model. But that was just because I didn't think it would either, but it does. So I think that's when we did a little bit of a warning about it. Just be careful using those types of hard shot glass ones, especially with lacquer thinners, because lacquer thinners will eat them alive. So you're okay for sort of, you know, water-based stuff and acrylics, but enamels you're getting into hot product range as well, and then obviously to lacquers, just be very, very careful with it. And I think you'll be fine. Andrew says, hi Phil, glad to see you're on the up and up. Question, in the future build, I'm wondering if you would do a Luftwaffe aircraft build with shingles camouflage in lieu of you beating it. I would also ask to downvote me on the choice of humour. But as you say, hey ho, looking forward to seeing you and team back. Yes, definitely. Happy to report the shingles was a doddle. I know some people, clearly I've spoken to a lot of you who've had it really bad. I dodged all of that, or I had my minds on other things at the time, because I only had it for about 7 days and that was it. So it didn't really affect anything. I had a little bit stuff going down in here around the side, but that was really all. And luckily it wasn't in my eye, which I think is what they thought it was at the time. So yes, but thank you, Andrew. Chris says, not much of a question, more of a request for help. Do any of you know where I can get my hands on a 1:600 scale Wessex? I need it for my Flashpoint entry. Crikey, can you just roll up a piece of something?
I would say a grain of rice.
Yes, because it literally would be, because a 1:300 scale helicopter is no bigger than your fingernail. So
I wonder that one of those like 3D printing services.
Is he doing that assault carrier, the old Airfix one, do you think, then? Wasn't that 1:600?
Probably, could be.
Apparently, shape ways you can get
You can choose the size.
12 1/600ths Wessex HS3s for 25 quid.
Bargain.
Crikey, that's expensive, isn't it, for something that's
Wow,
that big?
say that's a bit over the top,
Jesus
isn't it?
Christ.
More than the carrier. It's more than the rest of the aircraft carrier.
Yeah. There you go. That's through a company called Shapeways, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think you'll get. I want in.
Does it come with photo etch?
Somebody called Dom's Decals do some white metal ones. Looks like it's £2 for 4.
That's a bit better
That's
price.
a bit better.
There's going to be a little lump of tiny thing.
It will be tiny, won't it? Very, very small at that.
No, there you go. 2 choices, not bad.
Oh, and somebody was asking yesterday about Jacks, weren't they? And I can't remember the company now. Hold on, let me just go back to the company. Yesterday we had a question about Jacks. So let me just...
Right, did you actually find some?
I found some, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Hold on. You'll be sod's law, I won't be able to find it now. But a company actually makes them. And now it's not showing. Great. Hold on. No, hold on. Let me try it without the S. Hold on. Oh, there it is. A squared. Do a 48 scale, 2-stage resin jack. And also they do it in 48 scale and in 72nd. And they're 4.5 ton jacks. So, yes. for £20. So they're quite expensive, but they are nice. But yes, that's your company, A Squared, and the part number you want is, hold on. It is for the 48 scale one is SQ48011. So yes, there you go. So that's the information. Only because I went off and I had a look after the show, and then I found it last night. So yes. Right, okay, so that's that one. Glenn says, hello all. Is there a particular method for getting some colours to look correct? I'm trying to paint a car pure yellow. Too often it seems to have a green tinge to it. I've tried a decent white base put down and still get a green tinge rather than it just looking pure yellow. I've had it happen with Tamiya Gloss Yellow and the Lacquer Yellow too. I've checked the colour under different lamps and also daylight to make sure that it's is not the cause. Could you recommend a red or orange paint or a high vis on vehicles? Don't know. What do we reckon first of all for his yellow conundrum? I don't remember having that trouble with the Crep van.
Definitely yellow, the Crep van.
Definitely is yellow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely yellow. Chris below suggests using pink, but
What, pink primer?
No, you need white primer for yellow.
yeah, I just thought white, but yeah.
Pink won't think it will just bleed through it. It'll look really odd.
It's just a matter of building up a few layers. The yellow, or using RLM04.
That's more orangey though, isn't it? That's an orangey yellow. LP8 to me and X8 are yellow.
Yeah,
In
well
fact,
I
I've
used...
got
Yeah, well I've got it here. Look, she's out and about these days.
I can't see how I've ever had a trouble with yellow over white. To be honest with you. It's always
The only mistake I've made is putting a too thick layer of yellow down. So if you build a good layer of yellow and keep adding another layer, it'll
definitely yellow.
yellow.
Yeah, you've got to think yellow's not a very strong pigmented colour. Well, it is strongly pigmented, but it's rubbish at covering. That's why the white undercoat as well, because if you put anything else under it, it just kills the yellow. It's like reds and blues and greens, and you know what I mean. They need something underneath to
I'm thinking
to make it pop. I think
Yes.
it's the word they use.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try more coats. But LP8 and is it X8 or X whatever yellow is?
XF3 Tamiya is the acrylic one, and then LP8 is the one that I used. There's
that's
that
what you
LP8
used
on this.
Yeah, that's what you used on that LP8, isn't it?
Yeah, that's LP8 on that one, and to me that's just yellow. It doesn't look at all green or orangey. It's just pure yellow.
I mean, there will be other things in that formula that they've used. It won't just be yellow. There will be something else in it, but very, very minute quantities of whatever formula they made. But I don't know. I've never. Just not known a green tint to it.
Is it daylight? Is it the lighting that's giving it that funny?
It does say it's tried
It
different
does say
lighting,
he's trying it
doesn't
under different lights and stuff like that.
I'm just thinking put another layer on top and it'll go deeper and deeper yellow.
You know, personally, I think we did it this one. I can't remember 100% now. We did this. It was a while ago, but I would always put down white first. If I remember rightly, this is yellow plastic anyway, all the way through this, so it wasn't so much of an issue. But you need to neutralise it, and I think white underneath is just the best colour because it will reflect it, and it's a light colour as well. If you're going to go in with greys and that, then yeah, you're always going to be fighting it. But you've said you use white. So in theory, I wouldn't have thought it had been a problem just building it up. As I say, that's the only time I've ever done an entire vehicle yellow, and that was with LP8, and it's the first time we ever used it. And I actually thought it went down really, really well. And to me, it's yellow. So, and it's a nice solid yellow as well. So,
You need to put a photo up because I'm really intrigued by this green tint. I've got to be honest, I can't get my head why it's.
But I mean,
Not if it's
why it's green
over.
tint.
Yeah, not if it's over white.
Yeah.
contamination in the airbrush, is it? No, it
says
wasn't
the pink undercoat warms the yellow, apparently.
Yeah, it will show through, won't it? We're looking for like a Lego Man yellow. Is that the sort of yellow we want?
Lemon yellow,
Yeah.
I suppose, is it? I don't know. Do a bit more info on that, to be honest.
Yes.
Info and photos of your greeny tinted yellow.
God, Jamie's starting a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Is there?
God, good luck.
Hey,
Does this mean
like
we can
and
all retire
subscribe.
now? He's got somebody decent on YouTube.
What's
It's
it?
a
What
bit-
you doing? What's you doing it on, Jamie? What you going to be doing?
Yes.
Modelling, I guess.
Modelling. Yeah.
Are you modelling or just chatting like you do on the Facebook thing?
Yes, we need to know this. If there's somebody
Yeah.
decent on YouTube, then I will probably full-time retire.
It does say after he got over his COVID, he broke his foot, so
Oh,
Yeah.
obviously got some spare time.
Models and chat.
Come and join us in Hospital Corner.
yes. Yeah, if you get really ill, Jamie, you can come and see us. It'll be fine.
Well,
Get on the same ward, it'll be okay.
You lot speak for yourselves. I'm perfectly healthy and well.
Yeah, but you're young. A few more years and then it's all downhill. Before you know it, you'll be applying for your blue badge. It'll be great. Right, okay, bit more to the question. Could we recommend a red or orange paint for high vis?
I think-
I like that.
Yeah, attacker high vis is the
Attacker.
only one I can get up with.
What you got, John? In fact, I like that attacker one as well. I think that's really
Yeah.
good.
The attacker one's really nice.
Again, over white,
Yeah.
and it does come up, yeah, really nice.
What's the number for that
Just
one,
looking
Andy?
to see what I've got.
That is a C194.
That's it.
I've
Give
got-
it, a few thin coats again. Not, don't go mad with it. And
But yeah, use a white primer under it as well.
I think I've got the Hitaka and I think I've got MRP as well, International Orange, which is a bit day glowy.
yeah,
The Hitaka one's the best one that I've used. I've tried loads.
depends on what vehicle. I mean, it says on high vis on vehicles. I mean, yeah, some of them are just orange, aren't they? So like X6 or something. But
There's reddy ones and there's more orangey ones, aren't there?
Yeah.
So you have to be careful because if you're doing like an RAF day glow, it's a different colour to like other day glows. But it feeds, doesn't it? So I don't know. But the Hitaka one's the only one that I've got down with. It's got a reasonably strong pigment in it. All the other ones, it's like spraying water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a bit wishy-washy, aren't they?
Bid. Humbrol was the worst. Jeez, that enamel. Oof. But I think the day glow paints are just so weak. Yeah, so definitely Hitaka.
Okay, so next bit. Paint stripping plastic kits. He's used IPA and it works reasonably well, but it isn't always completely successful, even after 2 goes on parts that have been a mixture of paints on them, i.e. acrylics, lacquers and enamels. Is there anything else that you suggest that I could have, should have in stock to try? Power spray, fairy
Yeah,
power
I'd
say-
spray, and a zip bag.
Mr. Muscle,
Yeah,
well, oven cleaner works.
yeah,
Yeah,
good
oven
old
cleaner.
oven cleaner.
I'll tell you what not to use. On one of the Facebook pages I follow, someone was trying to strip paint. I think it was a car body, but they decided to soak it in Mr. Tool Cleaner.
ooh,
Oh.
yeah, that just turns
Oh.
gel.
That worked well, yeah.
Yeah, that's
And it was just like this
Blob.
blob.
I saw that on Facebook the other day.
Why? Why would anybody do that?
It's just
The strongest lacquer thinner you can
Yeah.
buy, but yeah, we sell and yeah, chuck it in that.
melted the bottom half of it, isn't it? It's so funny.
I think he's
I've
a-
always
Yeah.
Sorry, I've always used either IPA if it's like I know it's going to come off easy, but if I think it's going to be stubborn, then it's like oven cleaner. Brush it on, chuck it into a Ziploc bag or something that'll seal. Leave it as long as you like overnight. Something, come back to it, wash it off, and it normally 90%, 99% of it will come off.
IPA
Depends on
will
what
clean
it is.
off acrylics, but it won't touch lacquers or enamels that well. It just tends to, it's not as aggressive. But I stripped. Well, Buster originally had the first strip. I demoed how to use it on Buster, but that was all because it was acrylics. But if you're dealing with enamels and lacquers, you need something proper aggressive to get in there. But I'm still a believer that sometimes it's better just to sand down. If you're going to be repainting and you're assuming that's why you're doing it, why strip it all the way back? Why don't you just rekey it and respray it? Just saying. Save a lot of messing around.
When I did my famous 30-second T2 Buckeye, still up there.
What, again?
The broken canopy. That I used Halford's car spray for that, car primer.
Can't get that off. You can't get any of the aerosol primers off. If it's Tamiya, Guns, Alfred primer, they will not shift.
That's one of the reasons why it's sat up there, not being touched, because
because you cracked the canopy on it. That's why you didn't.
Yeah, but I didn't know there was cracked the canopy until about 5 years after I ditched it. So. It's still messed up.
It's like say you're in like microns of paint sort of built up, and I mean microns. If you're airbrushing and spraying, it's nothing. You get a bit of 800 something like that, you go straight back through it pretty quick if you rub it down. So if you worry about it building up and losing your detail, then you put your paint on too thick.
Just the green and white sander will take it off, because
well, you just go through the grits if you're impatient. 800, 600 will just rip it down, and then go down the grits and polish it back up.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't suggest the guys are saying about brake fluid here. Probably not a good idea, especially for your health.
It's a bit aggressive as well, isn't it?
It's a bit expensive way of doing it as well. You can go to Asda and get these.
It does work.
Yes.
It does strip paint, but I don't know if I'd recommend that really. But I don't know. I don't get this stripping paint back all the time. I can't get the mentality about it, if I'm honest. Say just rub it down and paint over it.
It depends on how thin your panel lines are, though, doesn't it? Yeah, you can take a lot of detail away, rivets and things. If you've got a couple of a coat of primer, a coat of paint, maybe another coat of paint. Yeah, you sort of you can take a lot of detail away. If then you're going to add that again onto it, taking your rivets away or
Who's on about aircraft? I'm not. I'm on about like tanks.
I know what you're on about. Silly things with wheels, I know.
That's your lot's problem with aircraft bits. But I think he's on about car bodies anyway, isn't he?
I don't know what we're talking about. Anyway, just change the subject. Jamie's YouTube channel is The Scale Modelling Calf. Don't forget, like and subscribe and ring the bell thing.
Yep.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Right.
We'll be there for coffee later.
Has he got anything? Is there anything on it then, or he only just literally started it?
He's just filming the first model right now.
Oh, what you building?
Yeah, what you building?
He's filming his first model and he'll be launching it when he's edited the first one.
Oh.
So are you doing like talking as you're doing it, or you're voiceover in it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And are you going to have music over it as well? What camera angles are you using?
Are they going to be like 15-minute videos, or are you going to do the proper?
Yeah, you're going to do proper videos or little shots.
Are you going to show something or not? that's how film calls it, isn't it?
Academy F14.
Yeah. Are you going to video 6 hours worth of work and then try and spit it down to 30 minutes?
I'll tell you what, Dave, mate, if you get bored of editing, just send it to Andy, he'll do it for you.
Yeah, Andy will do all your editing.
He loves watching videos over and over.
He's brilliant at editing.
And please do me a favour and put your head in the camera when you do it.
Or just forget to turn your mic on or something.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so next question is to Andrew. He says, hi all, good to see you up and running, Phil. I hope this isn't a stupid question, but I now have a Mac valve on my airbrush line. I have the pressure on the regulator gauge set to 20 psi. This is a separate regulator and moisture trap to the gauge on the compressor. Is the Mac valve set to 20 psi as well when it is fully open? Yes. So the way you look at it is that I don't know where your gauges are and all your bits and pieces, or your actual regulators, But obviously your compressor, the one, will go up to that pressure. So if you set it for 20, that's its sort of cut off. It goes up to 20 and it doesn't go any higher than 20. But if you've got another gauge along your air line from your compressor will just go up to maximum, and then at the gauge point will take it to 20 onwards. So it's a bit like your Mac valve on your compressor, because of on your airbrush, because that's along the line, it's obviously down. So highest pressure, and it will get lower as you go along. So I set mine, to be honest, my compressor is set to 40. Yes, it is. It's at 40 psi, and that's what it's always at. I had never idea. Then I just have it on, as Andy's got there, an inline one.
If it's that type of Mac valve, it's probably at 20 psi until you're about 90% all the way down on it anyway.
Well, yeah, because it depends on the quality of your Mac valve.
Yeah.
Because some of them are literally, that last bit is like 90% of your air pressure. But as I say, if you've got one which has got a couple of turns in it and all the rest of it, you do it. But basically, just set your compressor up to whatever your maximum one you'll be using. And then obviously down the line from that, it will be to your airbrush. Is normally you have your Mac valve next to your airbrush, is where you dial in what pressure you want to be actually spraying at. So, again, it's one of those things.
These ones are much more controllable, aren't they? Especially on the Pro Convoys.
Yes, definitely.
Have you seen what's been brought up in chat?
No.
Oh god.
10 today shift and artistic now.
No, I'm reading the one above it. It keeps moving it out of shot.
Yes.
I feel your pain every time I try to do it.
No, I feel right.
He's going to narrate it. Oh no.
I was going to narrate it.
Keep it live and real. Do it as you go. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, saying that, there may be a narrated video coming up soon on.
What, you're going to narrate over Matt, are you?
No.
That'd be interesting. We ought to do that one. People narrate over your other videos. That'd be brilliant.
Hey, I reckon that would be quite a good idea.
We should do that as a special. We'll all narrate
should.
each other's videos.
Yeah, we'd all do a separate video. Then, like I say, somebody else narrate it. Be like a Secret Santa.
Yeah, that's it. Who's narrated this week's video? So yes, no, you'll be good. You'll be fine. Anyway, so yes, it says when it's below the pressure goes, I think the air tank fills up 60 psi. So yeah, don't forget, most of them on your airbrush, like down in here, you set it to what you want. I've got mine set to 40. It will go up to about 55, 60 psi, but it doesn't need to go that high. So I set it to that. So that's all it fills up to. But as I said, if you had another one, say here, on a line, as I used to have back in the day with a dial on it, and I used to put it in there, then obviously that would be at 60. This would be to whatever I set it to go to the airbrush. But as you say, if you've got one in line, it's obviously how it's going down. But I always say maximum air pressure on your compressor or pretty high, and then that way you've got a full range of pressures on your airbrush as you're using it then. So if you want to be doing blowing out dust and stuff like that, you can just crank it up to full. If you want to clean out your airbrush, for instance, just crank it up to full to blow out your airbrush and clean out your airbrush. So yes, you'll be fine. Richie says, hi Phil, good to hear you're on the mend. I'm trying to find a straight edge clips that you use. I know they have a name. They do. They're called poster hanging clips. These ones, if you're all about these ones that I've been using, or I use a lot. Those ones. These are literally, they call them poster hanging clips. They've got little things on them. You can buy them on Amazon. They come in packs of 12, I think it is. They're only pence, literally. But yeah, have a look on Amazon for them. I know somebody keeps finding the link for us because everyone asks every now and again. And but that's all they are. They're poster hanging clips, but they've got flat. It's two edges and they're flat right the way along it. So when they come together, so they're great for holding onto things that are funny angles and stuff. But for like wings and things like that, where it's very tight, like on trailing edges, you know, when we were putting these together, for instance, you can actually put them right on the edge to really pinch in at the edge as well. So yes, they are very, very handy for that, and I use them all the time. So, yes.
What about little bulldog clips?
Yeah,
you could probably do the same, little bulldog clips. Yeah.
I think bulldog clips have got like more of a rounded edge though, don't they? I think the slip off
Yeah,
things
some of them
each,
used to ping off, but those ones, I must admit, because they've I think they were actually called poster hanging clips. That's actually what they were called. But you can get just paper hanging clips as well or something. But yes, we'll have to. I'm sure somebody will have a look on Amazon and find them again, because it's so many years ago now. It's not on my list anymore from Amazon. So
I bought some, but I can't remember when I bought.
But I think they are packs of 12, isn't it? I think they're doing packs of 6, 12, 24, whatever it is. So I must admit, I've got a pack of 12. So yes, we're all good. Nigel says, hi team. First of all, it's really great to see Phil back and in the driving seat. I hope that he's feeling fully fighting fit soon. My question is, have you ever considered giving the forum members some say, tried it once, in what the group build and SIG project might be for the following year? I'm thinking something of opening up a category. The forum for suggestions will remain open for a fixed period, and then all the members would vote on the suggestions that they would like to see. Then perhaps the top 20 go forward for the final decision. I'll be honest, Nigel, you've only been a member for the last sort of 5 years or something. We've tried this and it ends up in absolute carnage. I don't know why, but we did it. I did it for many years to start with, and it worked quite well. But then when you get, a few thousand members, it turns into a complete farce, because it just seems to be that you alienate a certain percentage because they didn't get their way, and then they just don't want to take part, or there's a lot of negativity around it, and it's just like herding cats. To be honest, it's bad enough with us lot trying to decide it. So that's why really we just leave it up to Nathan now, because he's more intelligent than us.
I think when I first took over the SIGs before passing it on to Nathan, because it was a nightmare. We used to get everyone's suggestions, didn't we? So 6 months beforehand, and say suggest what you want, and then try and choose between them. But like I said, it was just carnage, and that many people who just said, well, why aren't we doing this one? And thought that was a good idea, and so.
Having said that, if you want to PM us privately, we are open to bribery and blackmail.
Yeah.
And also, it's more enjoyable for us because we'll get together at Phil's house and over beers, and then decide what could happen.
A fun fight over what they're going to be.
Yeah, basically, it tends to be decided in the summer when everyone's here, isn't it? We usually go through it. But yeah, I know what you mean about obviously opening up for the members, but again, you can throw in suggestions, and they usually do, because I know Nathan last year you were writing them all down, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean the Flashpoint SIG was, I've not got this weird passion for short wars. That was, some people requested the Gulf War, people requested the Falklands War, both which on their own are a little bit narrow. So that was where that idea came from. But I've got little stickers here of things that people have sort of, sometimes someone will say something in the chat on a show one evening, and I'll just write it on this little table here. So I do take some note of what's said, but I wouldn't like to say it's a democracy.
Yes, but no, we do obviously, as you say, we do tend to have a bit of finger on the pulse for what people are saying and wanting and stuff. And as Nathan said, because I remember when we went through it last time, Nathan had a great list of it, and it was a lot of them were what you guys had suggested. Like Nathan had said, he picked up that sort of tinge of it that's going through the forum. Something might be said on the chat now, and we just make a mental note or a scribble down a note of it, and then when we make the decisions for it, that's when those will come out and we use it. So don't just think we're blinkered and not taking any notice what you guys think, because it's clearly not. We do, but at the end of the day, what we're trying to do, like we said before, is make sure everybody can get involved in it. Because I know sometimes we've had various people say, oh, could we do this one, could we do that, like Nathan was saying. So like the Falklands one, it's a little bit niche if you're not British or Argentinian, and things like that. So consequently, for us to say, well, look, that's a little bit too much type for perhaps doing it as a SIG on its own, but maybe we can then do it, as we said, into the actual Flashpoint one, because it's a perfect example of it, then we can put it in there. So all of those people can still get involved with it. And again, as you say, it's just that thing of trying to get as many people involved with the group builds and into those things as possible. So that's what we do with that, and obviously with the SIGs and group builds as a whole. So,
the things that are floating around at the moment don't necessarily assume we're doing the 80s next year.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Don't start buying loads of 80s stuff, because we've kind of got ideas.
Because there was nothing good in the 80s.
1910, you know, I don't know. But things that are floating around at the moment, we're quite keen. I think Israel and the Middle East is something I've been trying to sort of weave in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did that with the 70s and the Flashpoint one. So that's. But yeah, we do kind of keep an ear open for what's going on. But we do try and step away from just turn it into sort of blue plaque sort of brigade where it's just anniversaries. We've had that phase, haven't we? We've done that. Like one of them was the Pacific. We tried to get the Pacific in, so that's where the sort of the sort of sea themed one last year sort of crept in, because we'd done the Pacific theatre before, but we were conscious we'd done too much European theatre World War II stuff, but we just didn't want to rerun the Pacific one. But it is a bit of an art to sort of make it open. I think one year one suggestion was 1/35th scale artillery.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, if we did that, how many people would actually do it?
Yeah.
So we're always surprised which ones take off, though, aren't we? We're never quite sure which one's going to go.
Yeah, the South American one went well, didn't it?
South America one, we got so much flack for that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Can't get the decals, can't get the decals. The Africa one went well. But the one that caught me by surprise was the Soviet Union one. That went bonkers.
Yeah.
So there's maybe Warsaw Pact next.
Mm-hmm.
Where we put something on and people say, "Oh, I wish we could have done it with stuff." We kind of just that might be a theme next year, sort of Poland, Czech Republic, sort of stuff. So I'm making a few notes. The 155mm howitzer SIG, yeah.
Yes. Richard just saying, Phil, what's your next after the F-18? Well, I'll say I'm doing the Hurricane and the F-18 at the moment. I mean, I can assure you it'll be something 1/48 scale and a nice kit. That's what that will be, definitely. Haven't decided yet, because obviously I've got my little list, which is still here. But as I said before, it's one of those things. I probably won't be a Hornet, because I know we're saying about those, but it could be. Obviously, it may be the Strike Eagle. It might be a Phantom. Don't know. Maybe something else like that. So yes, that is for me as it comes along. But it will be a nice, straightforward build. I can assure you that after this lot. Right, flying boats. Sami, we had that before. Yeah, you can't say that. We've had the flying boat SIG before.
Chris has got one that's been on my long list, is the Pacific Rim, but then I thought Ring of Fire, and then that's just a whole different.
Yeah, that's careful with that one.
The Pacific Rim is one.
Isn't that Asian food, hot food?
Yeah, MiG SIG. Oh god.
Yeah, we've done a MiG SIG. We've had that. We did all those. That's the trouble. We're going to have to start going back round doing them all.
I'll tell you what, I was worried at the start of the week that Putin was putting on a short war just for us.
Well,
just to take part in our SIG.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, he's trying to take part in our SIG, yeah.
And it's already been going on for 6 years already, so...
Yeah. started on the rules. Oh. Indo-Pakistan
We've
war.
done that as well. We've had that as a SIG.
Yeah.
Yeah, say if you go back through the list of them back in the day, it is on the site. Don't forget, you go down through all the SIGs and group builds. I think the first one that is in there, because we moved forums, was from 2009. But there was another 7 years before that.
You know what? Prototypes and pre-production is not a bad idea. The TSR2 SIG. PlayStation app for now. So we do list them, but we don't do it as a poll because it just
Yes.
Just anniversaries.
Okay, so Lee says, nice to see that you're feeling better, Phil. I just wanted to know if your greenwash is still coming out in March. What colours would you use them on? Thanks. Yes, we're still, plan is it will be not next week, the week after, first week in March, because obviously they're going to go into full production then, which means me making up a load of wash, bottling and labelling, all of that. Then it will go out to our stockists to make sure they've got it all in time, and then it will be like a worldwide release all at the same time. So So it is still slated to happen in March. It'll be the back end of March because customs is horrendous, which I think Brett will say, because he had one stuck in customs for almost a month trying to get through. So his last order. So it's taking a bit of time to come through at the moment. So once everybody's got it and they're all in position, then we will be doing our sort of worldwide launch for all the greens. As for what you'd use them on, well, as I was demoing, as I was playing with it, this is all the greens are on this guy. So you can do pretty much whatever you want with him. So he's got a bit of a green tinge going on with him as we were playing with it. But generally, the whole point of doing like the green wash is, it's one of those where, you know, you're not obviously going to be using it on things like aircraft and stuff. But the one green isn't here at the moment. It's a really dark green, which is actually called, I can now confirm, it's actually called Flory Filth. Purely because we've had the labels done for it. So we've got a bit of Flory Filth coming out, which is a really dark green. But again, you can use it on sci-fi type things. You can use it on buildings. You could use it on, like, as you say, you know, rotten cars, various things, as you get moss and greenery and algae sort of appear on naval stuff, obviously, anything else like that. But the real point to it is that we've been asked to do greens for absolutely donkey's years. And I've always shied away from it because I thought there's not a lot of worth in it. But, you know, it's one of those ones where it's like, if you think about it, with the way that dioramas are taking off now and ground, you know, buildings and stuff like that, and on the other side for the railway guys and obviously for that type of thing, and obviously sci-fi stuff, Warhammer stuff, greens are pretty much a standard thing. So we're just sort of going for that side of it. But generally, yes, there, that's green on there in various shades of it all over, 50 shades of green. But yes, it's a nice, good, strong colour as well. So that's the plan with that one. But yeah, it should be coming on. I think it's going to be back end of the month by the time all the stockists have got it. Okay, so Dominic says, glad to see you making a return, Phil. Has anyone seen the new scheme and prices of the Kinetic 148 scale E2C Hawkeye, which is this one, which is a bit of a nice one. It's quite a cool scheme, that, isn't it?
Yes, it's
The French one. So this is the Hawkeye as he was doing it in the late 70s orange thing. So yes, and would PM be stocking it? I hadn't seen this before, I saw this earlier. So this is a new one on me, but definitely because we can get Kinetic.
We can, yeah.
Yeah, we can.
So, I've looked at our stockists and there's no, I mean, I can't imagine it being any different in the retail price of what the kit is at the moment, apart from any price changes, you know, via Kinetic at the time. I mean, like, they're going for 68 quid retail at the moment. So, you know, unless there's any changes in prices, I imagine it'll probably be the same sort of price. But there's no official prices yet on our stockists. So yeah,
I've not even seen it listed as coming out. So
it is on
future releases, is
it
it?
under future releases still? So well, it's going to make it.
There's no prices, no pictures or anything for it yet. I just a quick look.
Whilst just doing that, somebody was just asking about the aprons and the merch. That, to be honest, I know it's stupid. I've got thousands of pounds worth of merch sat out in the unit. I've just got to put it all on the site. So again, now I've got a bit of time and getting myself back together, I will get it put all up on the site and everything else like that. So give us a week or two and the merch will all be there. Because as I say, it's all sat in boxes inside the unit. But I will sort it. So obviously that's the t-shirts, the polo shirts and the aprons for the minute, and then we've got a few other bits and pieces coming down the line as well. So yeah, we're just sorting out on prices on those things, but we will get those sorted out as soon as I can get around to doing it, really, at the end of the day. So still trying to take it a little bit easy at the moment.
When that Hawkeye comes, we'll get an official price and proper photos and we'll know when it's coming out. No doubt we'll probably get a pre-order or payment.
Yeah, if people want it, people are interested, then yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Will Brett get merch? Brett can't get merch because I'll tell you, there's no money in it. So by the time we send it to Brett and all the rest of it, it'll be running at a loss. You know, don't think the merch we're making 50% on it and all the rest of it, because things are not cheap. Unless we start charging 30 quid for a polo shirt, then it'll be worth doing it. But
yes. Like design wear.
Yeah, it will be. But yeah, trust me, there's just no money in it. When you don't make money out of merchandise, full stop. You know, it's literally, it just covers the cost of it and a few pence. Rob McCluskey or Phil, scantily clad in an apron for promoting the merch.
That's Mr. January and Mr. February.
Yeah,
so.
I think Rob can do that honours then.
Yeah.
And will PM be doing merch down the line? Yes, of course they will. We'll do anything.
Yeah, well, it was planned. Things have just gone a bit delayed, to be honest. But yes, there is a guy who we know who obviously was said before does the hoodies and stuff, and was going to get some mugs and that made up. So I just need to go and see him. And at the minute, time's been a bit short for me, I'm afraid. So as soon as I can get a little bit of time to go over, I can get it sorted.
Yeah, PM models mugs.
Yes. Right, coloured ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've still got the old one here.
Have you still got the prototype?
I've still got the prototype. This is that one, wasn't it?
Oh God, yeah.
With the funny blue one too.
It
Yeah.
was. There's like a funny blue colour on it, wasn't it?
That's a rarity, that.
It is.
Yeah.
Collector's item.
Yeah, Phil for the 1st of April cover. It would be with me on it. I could be lying there like Beckham.
Yeah.
Yeah, apart, you can't have any mugs in Australia, don't forget, because otherwise, you know, if it doesn't pass health and safety.
What happens if Australia starts running out of mugs? Absolute disaster.
Can I just answer Russell, because he's asked me this before. As far as I know, I don't think it has. It's not a collect thing, I don't think so. But I'm not 100% sure either, if I'm honest, but I don't think it has.
Don't Australians drink everything they drink out of cans?
Yeah, they just drink Fosters, don't they?
They don't give a 4X.
Lead content needs being tested to sort. Well, that's it. Lead's very dangerous in Australia. It's like that cancer-causing California stuff, isn't it?
What?
Fresh
Oxygen. Oxygen. Yeah.
Must be something that I don't know.
Hey.
Yeah, let's not go down the mug thing again, but basically the reason it is that your mug has to be certified and go through all the safety checks before it's allowed into Australia. So we'd have to send them a mug and it get tested, which apparently costs about $2,500, just to prove that it's not going to kill anyone. And then we would then be given a code number which has to be printed on the mug and to allow it to be in the country. So it's like, yeah, and that could take up to a year.
Wow. Not quite worth it, is it?
So
really?
it's not really worth all the hassle for a mug.
You might as well just find somebody over there and get your own mug printed.
Yeah, you probably would be right. Yeah, find a company in Australia to do the mugs.
Just get your own merch done. It's just ridiculous.
There we go. Sell the PDF for £3.
Paul says nobody in Australia drinks Fosters. In Oz, we export it. I think all our Fosters comes from Sheffield, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does, doesn't it? It comes from Sheffield Fosters.
Yeah.
Is it Sheffield or Burton-on-Trent?
Something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Could say, yeah. But it does make you laugh when it says brewed in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
John's fighting a cold, that's why he looks sleepy.
yeah, Matt's cold. You've passed
It's
on.
all the hard work he's been doing this week.
This is it.
Yeah, it is. You're right, Andy.
It's so slow when you're on holiday in February, sort of March time. You're ill
And
every
I've
time.
just turned the heater off. I got the heater up a bit too hot, so it's quite toasty in here
So he's
as well.
getting all warm and sleepy.
Yeah.
Open the window.
Sauna.
Yeah.
Yes. So border controls are quite strict in Australia. Good.
Yeah.
That's how it
So
should
has
be.
anybody got any more questions in chat you'd like us to answer?
Yes.
If not, I'm going to do some modelling because I haven't done any for how long.
That feels weird.
I might have half an hour with the overhead on of doing a bit of sculpting.
Oh, go on then. Stick your overhead on. We'll put the camera on you.
No, you're not, because I ain't got any sculpted. I ain't got anything mixed up to sculpt with yet. I'm
You
only
make
filling
more.
gaps. Hey, I'm only filling gaps. It's not exactly exciting.
John needs a good hold on his sack tomorrow morning. What are you doing tomorrow morning, John?
Steady.
Well, I don't know, I'm not at work, so
Considering he's off
He is
work.
home alone.
Yeah, he's off work, so yeah.
The
Lynn's
one-
away for the weekend.
I've not done any modelling in 2 weeks. There's loads of ghosty.
Terry asked, how do you dispose of used burnishing fluid?
Oh,
Oh, carefully.
yeah, slowly.
I recycle it.
Definitely not down the drain.
Yeah, don't put it down your toilet.
Pardon.
To be honest, when I did my tracks, Matthew gave me a tip. I didn't actually dunk them in the fluid. I just poured a little bit out and applied it with like an old toothbrush. And I didn't have any, didn't waste any that way.
It does actually last a few goes as well. It's not like one dip and it's done. You know, you can double dip, triple dip, whatever if you dip in. But again, it is more beneficial just.
I've got an old enamel thinners tin, and I put all me nasties in that, and then when it's full, take it down the tip, and they got a special place where hazardous materials go.
Yeah, mine's got that.
They pour it down the drain.
Yeah, and then they stick it in the river.
They go, oh, I can't bother with this. Shove it down the drain.
To be honest, I always do this. I have this. And the reason this is rock hard is because I just tip my clean out into this and then bin it. So is that not environmentally friendly? Because it's
Not really, no.
it's fine. But that's what I do for my airbrush clean out. Tip it onto that, and then every now and again I bin it, and away we go. So
Russell says Heineken brew Foster's in Manchester.
ooh.
Yeah,
There you go. Heineken.
made in Leeds. It's all
Where's Skull from, Nathan? Apart from the corner shop round corner from Phil's.
the only place in the whole of Europe you can buy Skull.
Still got it there. Blow the dust off. Don't knock it.
Can you get Cabernet 4X there as well?
You probably get really old stuff there. Get Baby Sham and everything. Good evening, fellas. Good to see. Oh, it's moved. Oh, God. Hold on. Let me pin it. Bink. Okay, good to see you back, Phil. I'm glad. And like me, you're battering down. Might have to collect up the garden items up here in Exeter. Otherwise, wondering if a future Thursday topic could be scratch building, please. In particular, interested in adding cockpit detail to basic kits like side panels, bulkheads, etc. Meat Feast Pizza for him. Ooh, that's Jerry. Jerry, you're only up the road in Exeter. You're in like 15 minutes away from here.
We do have the Greebley SIG coming up soon, don't we? So
Yeah, that'll be it.
we're filling in with that.
That starts in the summer, doesn't it? It's build, isn't it? So it starts in June. Doesn't it? Yeah, that's a good. I like a bit of scratch building with the old plastic card. Just need plastic card, don't you? You can do loads of that. It's just a matter of measure twice, cut once.
Yes.
Or measure once, cut once, and then recut it into something else.
Yeah, just put the scraps in a jar, just because you never. I mean, yeah, and that's why we've done the Greebley SIG group build is also where you get inside as well. I'm looking forward to that. I'm sort of hacking plastic, but yeah, it's good fun. I mean, I've scratch built the rear of this rally car and the interior for this, just plastic card, just to turn it from a normal, what is this, Nissan Skyline into a rally one with no back seat in it.
Mm-hmm.
Just scratch built the bit that would be underneath the back seat. I mean, 72 scale, it's a good way of starting in, 72 scale cockpits.
And your glasses, Nathan. Show me glasses.
Oh God, these glasses, where are they? I'm gonna have to just pick up the camera. My daughter is obsessed with Encanto. So the Barbie doll that she's got, she lost the glasses. So I've made like a prototype one, and I'm just sort of making a pair of glasses out of brass.
But what was wrong with them when you showed her, Nathan?
Well, she said, "Are these all right?" And she said, "They're not green." So obviously I've got to make green.
Wrong colour.
wrong colour. So she's lost these little glasses that come with this Barbie doll type thing. And I'm like, there we go. But yeah, I'll tell you what, you can go down a rabbit hole with scratch building though, can't you?
So what shade of green does she want them? Have you checked?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like a lime green colour, but
Kermit green.
Done RLMO2 will be fine.
it is like liquidized Kermit. But I mean, scratch building. There's levels of scratch building, isn't there? Like measuring it and getting calipers and all that sort of stuff, or there's just winging it.
I am definitely the wing it type. I just hold it up to it, cut it.
Yeah,
That'll do.
that's what. Oh, it's like Chris's.
James asked, what percentage of styrene counts for scratch building?
Oh, I mean, this is the thing where we had a little bit of this with the start of the Flashpoint sig. We're not going to be like getting into percentages because it just gets silly. But I think what we're looking for is just basically you're not picking a kit up and just building it. You're adding to it. You're maybe changing it from a Mark 1 to a Mark 5 or something like that.
Yeah, I think the easiest way is, if I may, is that for the scratch building sig and doing it, you're just going to take your normal kit, whatever else it is, and you're going to convert it into something else. So technically, it's not what the kit was. So that may be changing it from a different mark of an aircraft or something else like that. It may be doing something where you're changing a tank to some other version. But what we're really looking for is for people who start off with something and completely, so it looks nothing like the original in a way. That would be the ultimate. But you can go as far as you want. You can just change the mark of something to something else, or if you want to, you can do sort of what I'm going to be doing, is hacking something completely to bits so it looks nothing like the original, or hopefully, when it's finished.
So I got given that. I've acquired that complete kit, so I'm going to build that, and then I'm going to turn it into something post-apocalyptic. So I'm thinking of putting like something on the back of it, guns on it, and all sorts. Sort of plough thingy on the front.
Going all zombie killer, aren't you?
All zombie killer, yeah, that sort of thing.
There's a certain famous author who did who's got a book out. Who's got a picture of an OV10 on the front. If you look at that, then you can see he's in chat. If you look at that, that's.
He's got a YouTube channel now.
He's got a YouTube channel. But I mean,
like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's a perfect.
Back in the day, you used to convert things to two-seaters, didn't you? You used to take a single-seat kit and buy
Look,
it.
mine's signed as well.
Is that the book that wasn't proofread before the English version came out?
Possibly. But yeah, exactly. What we're saying about here is exactly what Jamie did for the OV10. You know, it is basically you're taking a standard kit and then just making it your own. So that's a perfect example of scratch building at its best.
It is, yeah.
Did a good job.
We're not going to accept a set of scratch-built seatbelts, are we?
No, it has to be completely different from what the kit is. So if you're starting off with a Hurricane, we're not looking for a Hurricane at the end of it particularly. That's the point. It's supposed to be just have a load of fun with it, and that's all you want to do. You know, that's the real sort of thing to this. You know, as you said before, you can either be one of these people who do all the drawings and all the rest of it and work it out, or you can be a bit like me, I'm just going to attack it and then start sticking bits on it. And then just let your imagination go absolutely mental with it. So that's the plan. Should be a lot of fun.
I'm going to turn a Coke bottle into a spaceship.
Yes. No, you want a fairy bottle, don't you? Like Blue Peter with a rocket.
I mean, it's like, to be honest, I think mine will be completely organic. Like, I'll have no idea what it's going to end up like. I'll just wing it. I'll do basically what the Star Wars Industrial Light and Magic did. Get a basic shape and then put loads of bits of old kits on it. sort of see what direction it goes in. I mean, I don't know. Did they, when they designed the X-wing, did they start with concept art or did it just evolve?
No, it got concept art by that guy, weren't it? Oh God, what was it? McQuay, is it?
Yeah, but they always had concept art for them all. But if you look at what they ended up in the day, I think like the Millennium Falcon's the one. If you look at the concept art, didn't turn out like that at all. You know, they really went to town with it. The other one was the Star Destroyer, wasn't it? The Star Destroyer originally, if you look at the concept art, looked more like a battleship on the top, where you had that sort of superstructure running along it. So it didn't actually end up with that sort of very wedgy thing until the end. So.
Yeah, but was that the limit of the model makers rather than the artist who designed it, or?
I don't know. I think, well, don't forget, if you know, the full story is, you know, the crawl section at the beginning of A New Hope where it goes over the top.
Yeah.
They only filmed the underside of the ship because they didn't actually do the top half until after that was filmed, and then they put it in post production, the back end of it as it goes across. That was added later. So yeah, they only did the crawl of it going underneath it because they'd only done the bottom. Nobody was happy with the top, so they filmed that bit, and then afterwards they added the top half of when it goes past. Then they added that bit. So because again, they kept changing their mind with it all.
That's a good thing. Like James says, N1 Naboo Starfighter. I mean, if you took the standard Starfighter kit, the standard Naboo Starfighter kit from Fine Molds, and you could greeble it into the one out of Boba Fett, yeah, so like cutting it out, putting the the panels off, and putting the bits underneath the panels to make it look like the one out.
To be honest, you know, we've spoken about it a lot, but you know, if you have a look around at the internet and what people have done, so I've seen like where people take like a twin engine bomber and they'll change the engines out for jet engines or something else like that to it, and they'll go to town with it and sort of really upgrade it and almost modernise it with jet engines. And I've seen it reversed as well, jets that have had props put on them as well, and various things. So that's like quite an interesting or an easy way to get your head round of various things you could do. Obviously, there were loads of people doing it at one point. It was taking things like 109s, weren't they, and turning them into cars. You know, so you take the fuselage of an aircraft and put a chassis onto it so it looks like a car, and going around and doing things like that. So there's various different bits and pieces, and obviously ships, naval stuff can be converted into spaceships as well, and there's a lot of that that's happened as well because there's a certain Japanese cartoon that has a lot of that in. So yeah, there's loads and loads of different theories to it. So you can literally just do a car and like Mad Max it as well if you wanted to. It's quite a straightforward job. It may be a case of it, you just take two kits, and I know we call it the greeblies, but for English folk we call it kit bashing. So it's just that thing. You could take two kits and just literally take parts off of one and then add it to the other and so forth and so on. And then you might need a bit of filler in between for the gaps. You might need plasticard to fill some areas and things like that. But the great thing about it is there is no hard and fast rules to it. You can organically grow the model and just add bits onto it. Because originally mine was going to be basically some type of transport. Now it's probably going to be more sort of an assault stroke gunship type thing. So again, it's one of those things that's evolving in my head how I'd like it to go, but I can tell you now it'll look nothing like what I imagine it to, because I'm very much I like that thing of just taking bits and putting them on and doing all things like that. So it's one of the ideal things about doing it, so there's no right and wrong, you just get on with it.
I think Jamie's put something about his book up. Obviously, he wrote it in English. They translated it into Spanish, and then they took the Spanish text and converted it back into English. There's some fuzzy logic in that somewhere, isn't there?
Yeah, Nigel Williams. That was good, Nigel. You put up.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just looking around the house as well. I mean, we've got some Dove hand wash. And I was looking at it and I'm thinking that looks like one of the figures out of Star Wars, the pink things that ride the speeder bikes.
Yeah.
With the long necks and what have you.
Yeah.
And it's just like a Dove hand wash bottle. Do you know what I mean? You can sort of carry on scratch beard onto that and to make it into something. It doesn't have to look exactly like a
I mean, you
Star Wars figure, but you can, sci-fi figure or something.
I think it's just about it doesn't have to be a big project. It could be small, like doing a R2D2 type droid thing.
Yeah.
Loads of stuff. I mean, I'm wondering if people are going to really old. Back in the day, you couldn't get two-seater versions of aircraft. So if you're not into your sort of realms of fantasy, you could look for like a mark of Spitfire. It's not been and convert something to a two-seat aircraft. Bit of what-ifery on schemes if you're just a painter. It's just go bonkers really and do something completely revolutionary. We're really hoping we'll see.
And again, the other thing you could do is obviously you've all got those shelves of doom. You could take something you've got done there and think, do you know what? Like Andy could do his Buckeye, and finally get it down and turn it into something else, or take a couple of them and say, do you know what? I could pull the wings off of that and stick them on there, or say you got some armour and bits and pieces, You could take a massive turret and stick it onto something like a M113 or something, So yes, limitless. That's the thing to this, isn't it? Let your imagination run riot with it all.
Fun. It should be fun. I think it's going to be diverse group build, isn't it? With loads of just. You're never going to see another group build like it. It's not. We're going to. I think it's big fun. But all we need to do is just start like Andy said, start hoovering up bits of bottles and plastic and packaging.
Yeah.
And just sort of shove them in a box somewhere, keep your olds. Like I've been for a while now, taking all the bits that you normally throw away off the sprues. Just try and build the spares box up over the next couple of months.
I think if you go back looking at like really early sci-fi, like 30s, 40s, 50s sci-fi stuff, I think you get some really cool ideas.
Yeah.
Like the old programs or whatever they used to be on, the Rocketeer and stuff like that. I think you'll get some really good ideas from what they used to do.
Watch out, actually.
One of the guys in chat was asking how do you straighten a pitot tube. I can't find it. I can't figure out where it was. I've just lost it somewhere. So I find the best thing just put it on a nice flat mat, then roll it over with a metal ruler, just to sort of flatten out. The problem is if you've got like a one that's
attached.
Well, if it's attached, then you sort of struggling, aren't you? But rolling your plane over, just roll it over with that, sort of like a roller or something, and just like roll it in.
So the usual question, because it had to be asked, friction clamps. They're no longer available from the manufacturer it did, but there is a company in Sweden, and they've done a 3D printed rip-off for 4 times the price. But yeah,
so they were dead cheap, weren't they, when we got them?
These were, they were like $2.99. So, but yes, the whole point is they come with a little stand. Originally, if you want to know the total truth to these were actually for the railway guys. So the whole point was that you got the base. I don't know what I've done with the other bases, around somewhere. But you got these bases. You screw these to your workbench, you see. You come along, you put your train into it, 'cause you've got one each side, and you hold them in position as you're working on them. That's originally what these were designed for. That's hence the scale and the sizing and everything to it. But actually they are a very good friction clamp. And they're very handy. But as you say, the Chinese company used to make these. They were like $2.99 for a pair. They were dirt cheap. And they obviously did a run of 1 million of them and have never done them again. So that's the point. But again, somebody else then managed to get a company to do a limited run, but I think they paid a bit too much for them, shall we say. So
according to the website I'm looking at, Robert Hobby, that one of the guys has posted a link to, there are 140 SEK Swedish monies, which actually works out at £11, and I believe that's a repair. So actually not that bad. Just there you got the postage and VAT and everything to pay for, haven't you, or whatever. Any customs you might have coming from Sweden. Do you get customs from Sweden?
We do.
You will, yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Oh.
sorry,
Anyone that EU
Get
won't.
custom
Yeah, the
charges
EU
from everywhere now.
I try to figure who's in the EU and who isn't nowadays, don't you?
Yeah, Sweden's in the EU.
Who's in the EU, who's in NATO, who knows what's going on.
If you purchase it now, it will go out tomorrow. But obviously, you won't get it till Monday at the earliest. If you purchase it after 12 o'clock tomorrow, it won't go out until Monday because the post will be collected. There you go.
Yes.
So it's how fast you want it. And I can't even find it and look into it because we're having a move around in the shop and it's buried somewhere else now. I don't even know where it is. I did actually know it was just out here, but it's not there no more because the shop's being moved around into some sort of order.
Which means they'll never be able to find anything.
No, actually, all the manufacturers are going into one. You know, like Tamiya, all Tamiya is going into all Tamiya, all Zvezda is going into all Zvezda. That's how it's going to be. Instead of having like cars, aircraft, and all that, they're now all going into manufacturers, not into genres.
Yes.
I must admit, 'cause I didn't notice on Saturday when I came over, because I did trip over it, but is the Beetle still engine still in the middle of
Can't tell you that secret.
Yes.
Micromark.com might be something to look at for these clamps.
Who were they? Clamps.
Again, Darren says, what have those clamps from Sweden and had no? I think he means he's had those clamps from Sweden. He had no custom charges. You just lucked out. Trust me, it won't last. Everything I have now to this address, I get custom charged, no matter what it is. I think they just got my number, so to speak. So it won't be long before everybody will be getting them.
They've caught up with you.
They have, because no matter what I do now, it always comes through customs charges and all the rest of it.
You can get bar clamps, but they're not the same, are they?
Oh, those bar clamps I used to have, they were awful.
Yeah.
I binned them publicly.
They're rubbish.
They were
Don't
awful.
get them.
Burner clamps.
Pardon?
Burner clamps, they were called, weren't they? The ones with the yellow rubber ends.
They were awful.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I've got some. They're
awful.
crap. Yeah, they're not
They were the
good.
worst design ever.
That's the ones.
That's the one,
It's so-
Yeah, they are. They just twist off, like just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they slip and ping off. They're very, 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 very rubbish.
Yes.
rubbish. You can get some solid brass miniature bar clamps. Why would you want solid brass ones? What's that for then?
I don't know. I was just looking at that. Yeah, $25.
Yeah, $25. No, okay. I'm surprised them clamps haven't been reproduced properly, you know what I mean?
Well, like I've said, they will do. You know what they're like. They will just flood the place any second with them. It's just waiting until that happens, isn't it?
It's been a while since we've seen them though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Never mind. Right. Should we call it there then, guys?
I think we should be off.
I think we do. Right, okay then guys, so thank you very much for joining us this evening. There won't be a show as such tomorrow from me, but you will get the next part of which will be part 4 of the F-18 Hornet up with you. So that will be up with you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll all still be here and won't be blown away. So I'll upload that tonight before the storm arrives, I think, so it's all in place. So if we do get a news blackout, you know what that is. We've just got no power, which is a bit of a problem now.
Yeah, we had a thing through from Power Gen about disruption to the grid. And power cuts and stuff. That was yesterday, so God knows what they're going to put up tomorrow, if it's going to be even worse than what we've had. Do you know what I mean? So
Yes,
it'll be fun.
it will.
We'll see our bins flying down the street.
I was going to say, well, I've just put all our rubbish out tonight because it's recycle night and everything.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you
It was
just
ours
know full
yesterday.
well it's going to go, isn't it?
Oh, I'll tell you what, don't you notice though, every time there is iWinter, it is recycle week on your bin.
Yeah, every
Because
time.
ours, literally the street, I'd put mine out, ours is on a Wednesday, I'd put mine out Tuesday night when I'd got home, And then obviously woke up Wednesday morning when high winds up here, and there's oh god, yeah, it was just carnage. It's just there's just stuff everywhere.
Yes, and it'll always be fun. Instead of if it's as strong as they reckon it's going to be, it won't be just that. I'm going to have to go and find my wheelie bin somewhere. That'll be gone as well. The tubs would have all gone. The wheelie bin's gone. So,
that'll be in Dorset.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, glad I'm not driving tomorrow. There'll be crap everywhere on the roads.
It's not like Lost Cat, will it? It'll be like, have you seen this wheelie?
I'll put posters up.
Posters of your wheelie bin.
Wheelie bin. Yeah, they find it in Exeter.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, okay then guys, we'll leave it there. It's lovely to be back with you. We'll be back with you obviously next week, making our way through. Obviously we've got the PM show on Wednesday, and obviously we'll be back here on Thursday night next week. We'll probably do a little bit of modelling, no doubt, guys, won't we?
What about a week on Saturday?
Oh, and yes, and obviously a week on Saturday following, we've got a full day with you. So don't forget, we've got a bit of a special coming up there as well. So we're going to be doing our building stuff. So I'll be getting on with the CL215. And obviously we're going to be doing specials with the PM store. So we'll have some special show prices going up there and doing various things as well with discounts and bits and pieces. So it'll be a full Saturday. So it'll be Saturday morning and a Saturday afternoon.
That's 26th.
Health permitting and everybody last
Yeah, as long as everyone's alive, we'll be all right. If not, it'd be Matt flogging off our stashes. So, good job. Right, okay then, guys, we will call it there. Thank you very much for joining us. Stay safe, and we will see you all again very soon. Say goodbye, gentlemen. We are out of here.
Bye.
Bye.